My name is Scott Blaze, and if I had to start all over again, with $0 in my pocket, no savings, no connections, no job, I want to share with you exactly what I would do. Because I've been close. I've been down to my last $20, sitting in a car with no gas, no plan, and way too much pride. And what I've learned since then is this: rock bottom is not the end. It's a blueprint. It shows you what you really need. It strips away distractions. It forces clarity. And from there, you can build something stronger than before. So today, I'm going to walk you through the mindset, the actions, and the practical steps I would take if I had to start again from zero. No fluff, no gimmicks, just truth. Because whether you're 18, 38, or 58, if you're broke right now, this episode is for you. Let's begin with mindset, because that's where everything starts. When you're broke, it's easy to feel like a victim, like the system's stacked against you, like you've failed. But the first shift I'd make is this: I am not helpless. I am resourceful. I would remind myself daily that I still have value, that I can still serve, that I can solve problems. And people pay for problems to be solved. That truth would fuel every action I take. Now, practically speaking, day one. With $0, what would I do? First, I'd take stock of everything I do have. Do I have a phone? Access to internet? Am I physically healthy enough to work? Do I have access to shelter? Even temporarily? I'd start by identifying my available resources, not just what I lack. If I have a phone and internet, I'd use it to look for ways to earn within 24 hours. Not dream jobs, not perfect jobs, quick cash, gig apps, Craigslist labor gigs, community boards. I'd look for anything that pays same day. Manual labor, deliveries, cleaning jobs, moving furniture. It's not about pride, it's about progress. Let's say I earn $50 that first day. That becomes my launch pad. Day 2, I'd split that money. $30 for food and transportation. $20 goes into a separate envelope, my rebuild fund. That money is sacred. I won't touch it unless it multiplies. Next, I'd begin building leverage, and leverage starts with skills. I'd ask, what can I learn quickly that people will pay me for? Can I walk dogs, edit videos, write emails, clean cars, tutor kids, sell items online? I'd pick one and go all in. Watch YouTube tutorials. Study 5-star Fiverr gigs. Take free courses. Practice. Execute. Within the first week, my goal would be to earn $100 to $200 doing service-based work. Why service? Because it requires zero startup capital. You trade time and effort for money while building relationships and reputation. Then I'd shift to phase 2, systemizing. Instead of just doing random one-off gigs, I'd create a simple offer. For example, I clean cars for $40, inside and out. I'd text it to friends, post it in community groups, ask for referrals, show before and after photos, incentivize repeat business. That alone could earn me $500 in a week. And if I'm smart, I'd reinvest a portion into tools that make me faster, vacuum, supplies, whatever improves my delivery. Let's pause right there. If you're already feeling like you're learning something valuable, I want to ask you, take a second to like, comment, share this podcast with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. That one click could be the catalyst someone else needs to get up off the ground. Now back to it. As money starts coming in, I'd avoid lifestyle creep like it's a disease. I wouldn't upgrade my clothes, my phone, my car. I'd stay lean, stay low cost, because freedom grows in the gap between what you earn and what you spend. My first financial goal would be an emergency fund, $1 cash, tucked away. Next, I'd stabilize my housing, whether that means splitting rent with roommates, staying in a shared space, or negotiating a work-for-stay arrangement. I'd secure a consistent place to rest and recharge. Stability fuels progress. Then I'd invest in one skill with high income potential: copywriting, sales, video editing, web design, social media management, something I can learn online, practice on my own, and begin charging for within 30 days. The reason I'd focus on digital skills is simple: they're scalable. I can start with one client, then 5. I can build systems, I can raise prices, and eventually, I can productize what I know. But I wouldn't stop there. I'd build an online presence. Nothing fancy, just proof. A simple portfolio, before and afters, testimonials, a Google Doc with examples of my work. Then I'd start cold pitching. 10 outreach messages a day to small businesses, creators, or busy professionals. Not spam, value. Hey, I saw your site. Here's one way I could improve your copy. Would love to help, even if only one replies. That's a seed, and seeds grow. Week by week, I'd stack income, from hustle to habit, from surviving to strategizing. Now let's talk about money management. Because making money isn't the same as keeping it. From the moment I start earning, I'd use a simple envelope or bucket system. 50% goes to essentials, food, shelter, transport. 20% goes to skill growth or business tools. 20% goes to savings, my future fund. 10% goes to giving or generosity. Yes, even when I have little, I'd give something, because generosity shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. It reminds you that even in lack, you have the power to help. And that's a mindset that multiplies wealth. Now what if I hit a wall? What if work dries up? I'd adapt. I'd pivot. I'd study what's working for others. I'd model success. If car cleaning slows, maybe I offer pet grooming. If Fiverr doesn't deliver, I build my own landing page. I don't panic. I reposition. Because at $0, you can't afford ego. You have to be humble, curious, relentless. I'd also join online communities, Facebook groups, subreddits, Discord servers where people share tips, clients, referrals. I'd contribute, learn, network, and eventually, I'd ask myself, what do people ask me for help with again and again? That's the clue, that's the brand, that's the long game. By month 3, I'd have multiple streams of income, some active, some passive. I might be freelancing, selling templates, teaching what I know, reinvesting into better tools, slowly building freedom. And here's the most important part: I wouldn't wait to feel ready. I wouldn't wait to be confident. I'd start messy, show up imperfect, because starting is what creates confidence. Most people never escape $0 because they wait for clarity. But clarity comes from motion, not meditation. So if you're there right now, no money, no plan, just pressure, I want you to remember this. You are not your bank account. You are not your failures. You are not your fears. You are a builder, a learner, a creator, and your future is still wide open. I've seen people go from broke to booked in 90 days. I've seen single moms start Etsy stores while their babies nap. I've seen ex-cons build 6-figure businesses from laptops at the library. It's possible. But it's only possible if you start. Start now. Start with service. Start with skill. Start with one small offer and one big intention. And remember, you don't need a full business plan to make your first dollar. You need an offer, a person to help, and a way to reach them. Here's what I'd avoid at $0. I wouldn't waste time on logos, business cards, or websites. I wouldn't compare myself to influencers flashing rented cars. I wouldn't chase crypto, drop shipping, or any get-rich-quick scheme. Because at $0, your best asset isn't your idea, it's your ability to execute quickly. Fail forward, and adapt fast. Now let me tell you about Malik. Malik was homeless after aging out of the foster system. No family, no money, just a backpack and a prepaid phone. He started offering to clean driveways in his neighborhood for $20. Day 1, he made $40. Day 2, he made $80. Within 2 weeks, he bought a used pressure washer. He turned that into a full-time business. Today, Malik trains other young men coming out of shelters how to do the same. What changed? Not his education, not his luck, his mindset. He stopped waiting. He started moving. And that's the heartbeat of this message. If I had $0 today, I'd move fast. I'd start simple. I'd trade time for money. I'd build skills. Then I'd scale. Then I'd systemize. I wouldn't overthink. I wouldn't underprice. I wouldn't quit. Because I know one thing now that I didn't back then. You don't need a miracle. You need momentum. And momentum is built one decision at a time. I'd wake up early, even if I didn't feel like it. I'd go the extra mile, even when no one's watching. I'd deliver value first, ask for payment second, because that's what turns strangers into clients, and clients into referrals. It's not just hustle, it's heart. And when you build with heart, you build something that lasts. If you're listening to this and you're already doing your best, grinding, learning, showing up, I want you to hear this clearly. You're on the right path. Even if it's slow, even if no one claps, even if no money's coming in yet, you are planting seeds. Keep watering them. Your breakthrough isn't a moment. It's a momentum you build brick by brick. And every single brick matters. Now let's talk about rebuilding long-term wealth after $0. Once my basics are stable, housing, food, cash flow, I'd focus on creating assets. Assets are things that earn money even when I'm not actively working. And they come in many forms. First, content. I'd document my journey, share lessons I'm learning, turn my struggles into stories. Why? Because people connect to the climb, not the summit. And content opens doors. It builds trust, attracts clients, and becomes a form of leverage. I'd post on platforms where people hang out, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, not to go viral, but to build credibility. I'd create short videos sharing how I found my first clients, how I budgeted my first $1,000, how I learned to sell. That content becomes a portfolio, a resume, a magnet. Second, digital products. Once I have a skill and results, I'd turn that into a low-cost offer. Maybe it's a PDF guide, a checklist, a course, something simple that solves one problem. If I taught myself to land freelance gigs, I'd sell a 30-day cold outreach template pack for $9. If 5 people buy it a week, that's $45. Passive. Now scale that with more products, bundles, upsells. Third, systems. I'd use automation tools to manage my time. Calendly for booking, Stripe for payments, Canva for design, ChatGPT for content ideas. free tools until I can afford paid ones. I'd systemize so I can focus on creation and connection, not admin work. Fourth, community. I'd build a small email list. Doesn't matter if it's 10 people at first. I'd nurture them, offer value, share resources. Eventually, that list becomes my ecosystem, my future clients, collaborators, fans. Over time, this ecosystem grows into a business. But I wouldn't build alone. I'd find mentors, people ahead of me. I'd offer value in exchange for feedback. I'd ask better questions. I'd stay humble, stay hungry. And through it all, I'd remember, money is a byproduct of service. The more people I help, the more income I create. If I'm starting from zero, I'm not chasing money, I'm chasing transformation, mine and others. Because the truth is, if you can win with nothing, you'll never be afraid again. And that confidence? That's real wealth. You don't need a head start. You need heart. You need focus. You need belief. And if you have those, the money will come, the life will change, and you'll look back one day and say, I started with nothing, and I built everything. From the ground up, with intention, with grit, with purpose. And no one can take that away. Let me zoom out and speak directly to you, the one listening right now, who might be thinking, this all sounds good, but I'm tired, I've tried things before, I've failed, I'm not sure I have the energy to try again. I hear you, and I've been there, but I want you to imagine something. Imagine your life 12 months from now if you go all in on this process. Not waiting for motivation, not needing permission, just deciding that $0 is not where your story ends. You wake up in a space you can afford. You've got 3 clients on retainer. You're earning enough to breathe. You've got $1 in the bank. You're building an online presence. You're not scrambling anymore, you're structuring. You're learning, you're growing, and you did it not with luck, but with action. That's the story I'd build if I had to start from scratch. Not because it's easy, but because it's proven, and because I've seen it happen over and over again. Now let's address the biggest trap that stops most people at zero: waiting for the perfect idea. There is no perfect idea. There is only execution. Pick a direction, try it, learn, adapt, keep going. If you wait for certainty, you'll wait forever. But if you move with curiosity, you'll build clarity, and clarity turns into confidence. Confidence turns into consistency, and consistency? That's what pays the bills. Most people underestimate what they can do in 1 year. But I promise you, if you commit to the steps I've shared, if you show up daily, if you stay humble and focused, you won't be in the same place a year from now. You'll be thriving. So here's the map one more time. Start with service. Build a skill. Create a simple offer. Earn your first $100. Reinvest in better tools. Learn a digital skill. Start documenting your journey. Build small digital products. Systemize your delivery. Nurture a small audience. Keep solving bigger problems. And never, ever quit. Not when it gets hard. Not when it gets quiet. Not when you feel like you're the only one trying. Because the truth is, the people who win aren't always the smartest, or the fastest, or the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to stop. They're the ones who show up when it's boring, when it's slow, when it's thankless. They build anyway. They stay the course. And one day, they look back, and they're free. Free from paycheck to paycheck. Free from panic. Free from the fear of being stuck at zero again. And I want that freedom for you. So if you're still with me, let's make this practical. Take out a piece of paper or open your notes app and write this at the top. If I had $0 today, I would. Now fill in 5 actions you could take in the next 24 hours. Not tomorrow, not next month, today. 5 ways you could generate value, earn, learn, or create opportunity. Then do one of them. Just one. That's all it takes to shift momentum. Next, make a list of 3 free skills you're curious about. Skills that don't require a degree or permission. Maybe it's video editing, copywriting, email marketing, project management, Canva design, social media strategy, cold pitching. Pick one and commit to learning it for 30 minutes a day for the next 30 days. That's 15 hours. Enough to be dangerous. Enough to earn. Next, set a mini goal. Earn your first $100. Not from your job, from value creation, from something you offered. The feeling of making that first dollar from your own hands and ideas? It's addictive. It changes you. It builds belief. Then open a savings account. Even if you only put $5 in it. Make it real. Name it something powerful. Freedom Fund. Comeback account. My first 10K. Let it remind you why you're doing this. Lastly, tell someone. Share your journey. Find a friend, a sibling, a stranger on Reddit. Declare your intent. I'm rebuilding from $0. I'm starting with service. I'm building skill. I'm going all in. Because saying it out loud makes it real. And now, as we wrap this episode, I want you to know something. Your current circumstance is not your final sentence. You are not stuck. You are not small. You are not too late. You are on the edge of something powerful. And $0? That's just your starting point. Many of the most successful people you admire started with less than you. What made them different wasn't what they had. It was what they did with what they had. So take the first step. Then the next. Keep stacking wins. And when doubt creeps in, because it will, come back to this truth. You are resourceful. You are capable. You are creative. And your best chapter hasn't even been written yet. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this message was more than just motivation. I hope it gave you a plan, a mindset, a reason to believe again. Because you're not just surviving. You're rebuilding. You're becoming. And I can't wait to see what you do next. Until next time, live boldly, move wisely, and never forget, you have everything you need to start from nothing. My name is Scott Blaze. And I believe in your comeback. Let's get to work. Before we truly end, let's take one more breath and make this real. If you're sitting in your car right now, parked behind a grocery store because the lights got shut off, this is for you. If you're scrolling this podcast on public Wi-Fi, praying your last gig goes through, this is for you. If you're holding your kid wondering how to stretch the last $20, this is for you. You are not alone, and this isn't the end. You're going to find your lane. You're going to pick one skill, one offer, one act of courage, and you're going to make your first dollar. Then your second, then your 100th. That small start becomes a new story. You'll build consistency. You'll show up tired but determined. You'll get better with every try. You'll surprise yourself. You'll wake up one day not worried about rent, but planning your next investment. Not Googling how to survive, but writing down how to scale. You'll help others like you, because you remember how it felt. You'll tell your story, and someone else will say, if they can do it, so can I. And it all starts right now. With that one decision, I will not stay down. I will start where I am. I will use what I have. I will grow beyond this moment. You are not building a business. You are building a life. One that you own. One that's not dependent on a boss, a bailout, or a lucky break. And that kind of ownership? That's priceless. So breathe deep, wipe your eyes, square your shoulders, and walk into the world knowing this. $0 is not the end of your story. It's just the beginning of your rise. Let's build it. And when you do rise, because you will, I want you to remember what it felt like to be here. Remember the fear, the pressure, the loneliness, not to dwell on it, but to honor it, to stay grounded, to lead with empathy when others come to you saying, I'm starting with nothing. Because what you build from zero doesn't just benefit you, it becomes a roadmap for others. A signal fire, a new legacy. Don't underestimate what you're doing here. Most people never even try. But you're showing up. You're doing the work. You're facing yourself. And that makes you rare. Your power isn't in your past. It's in your perseverance. It's in your decision to make $1 with integrity rather than wait for a handout. It's in your willingness to be seen starting small. It's in your choice to live intentionally in a world that rewards distraction. You're not waiting for rescue. You're becoming the rescuer. You're not chasing money. You're becoming someone who attracts it, through discipline, through value, through resilience. So when you start to doubt, come back here, re-listen, recommit, and keep going. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people like you, quietly rebuilding, refusing to quit, lighting the way. This isn't motivation. This is your plan. This is your beginning. And 1 year from now, you won't be telling people what you hope to build. You'll be showing them what you did with $0, and a fire that refused to die. Now go. Write your comeback.